arch written comma arch 1 ওই কমান্ডটা একটু আমাকে ইন্টারপ্রিটেশনটা একটু বোঝাবেন, আমি ওই পেরিয়ে
arch
গেছিলাম।
1 comma garch 1. Arch 1 comma garch 1 means we are incorporating arch 1 effect as well as garch 1 effect. Okay, you cannot estimate only garch. Garch includes arch because you know in terms of the unit root behavior, autoregressive component has more significant than the moving average component. Okay, so our basic focus should be on the autoregressive part. Along with autoregressive part, we can also incorporate the moving average part, because in many cases the stochastic behavior may not be purely autoregressive. So to incorporate it, we can add the moving average component, but we cannot examine the behavior of moving average without examining the behavior of autoregressive part. So autoregressive part is very much important. That's why in this case you must have to find out the effect of arch. Garch part is optional. You can look at garch or not, it is optional, but arch part is compulsory. For that reason, the command is arch 1 garch 1. So we are considering arch 1 along with the garch 1 effect. Okay.
Okay, sir, thank you, sir.
স্যার কয়েকজন অ্যাকসেপ্ট করতে বলছে।
So after estimating Garch 1 model, so Garch 1, as I have mentioned, Garch 1 implies presence of arch effect. Now let we extend our model in this way. Initially we assume that the mean function is constant. Okay, but mean function, if mean function is exactly constant, after plotting the data you have got a roughly horizontal straight line like this. But if we look at the behavior of the return function, it is not exactly the straight line. So although the mean return is constant, it may incorporate some kind of autoregressive or moving average kind of behavior in the mean function or the return function. Okay, so to incorporate this kind of effect, let we extend our model. We extend the mean function. So initially mean function was return is equal to constant plus random error. Now we consider return is equal to constant along with autoregressive part as well as moving average part. That is, the return function follows the ARMA kind of behavior. Okay, so if this is the case, how do we get the result, or what would be the interpretation of the results? So let we incorporate an ARMA process with AR1 and MA1 terms as well as a 5-period lag. We are introducing 5-period lag because if you look at the column day of the week, we are considering 5 days in a week, Monday to Friday. Okay, so to control for the weekdays effect, we additionally incorporate moving average part at 5-period lag. So in this case, your command is, again the basic command is arch space return Now, if we compare our previous comment, in our earlier, this part was absent. So we introducing this part additionally. So arch return, comma, AR1 space MA1 5, 1 space 5. That is MA1 as well as MA5, along with arch1, guards1. So if we put this command, we will get this kind of result. Now, if we compare the output window we have got earlier, this part is now different. Now you have a value for world chi-square and the corresponding probability of chi-square. But in our earlier model, world chi-square was dot, probability of chi-square was dot. Why? Because this is the chi-square test, and this chi-square test is used for verifying the significance of the mean function. We have considered mean function without considering any regressor. We are considering only the intercept term. So as there is no regressors, there is no question for the joint significance of the model, because in testing joint significance, we normally test the significance of x1, x2, x3, etc. in our mean function. Okay, but as in the mean function, there is no x1, x2, x3. For that reason, there is no test statistics in this part. But now we have world chi-square value 59.89. Why we have got this? Because now we have ARMA component in the main equation. So this AR1 means now your main equation becomes yt is equal to phi naught plus phi 1 yt minus 1. This is the AR1 part, plus theta 1 epsilon t minus 1. This is the ARMA 1 part, MA1 part, plus theta 5 epsilon t minus 5. So we are considering only 1 lag and 5 lag. So your mean equation now becomes yt is equal to phi naught plus phi 1 yt minus 1 along with the moving average part. So now you have a regressor. What is the regressor? Regressor we are using here yt minus 1. The lag dependent variables are used as a regressors. So for that reason, we have to carry out this test, the joint significance of the model. Okay. Now, if we compare the results from the model we have used earlier, the mean function roughly similar. The mean return is the same. We are allowing here the effect of autoregressive part as well as the moving average part in the main function. But the AR component, MA component, all are statistically insignificant here. So now you have three parts in the output window. The first part, the mean return, which is constant. The second part, the ARMA component in the main function. The third part is the variance function. So in the third part, we are considering the same as before, arch1, guards1. And you have got the same result. Okay. So what is the difference? Difference is we are additionally consider this part to analyze the behavior of the mean return function. And you can summarize your result in this way. If you want to write down the estimated model by using the estimated coefficients. So this is the mean function. Now we have yt is equal to 0.0008 minus 0.014 yt minus 1 minus 0.004 epsilon t minus 5 plus epsilon t. How do we get it? This is the intercept term, this part. This is the coefficient for yt minus 1, this part. This is the coefficient for epsilon t minus 1, this part. And this is the coefficient for epsilon t minus 5, this part. So this is the mean equation you have by incorporating the ARMA effect in the mean function. And what would be the variance component? Sigma square t, as it is Garch 11, sigma square t is equal to 0.106 epsilon square t minus 1, which come from here, plus 0.89 sigma square t minus 1, the coefficient come from here. Okay. Now, you can also carry out additional test, check whether Arch 1 and Garch 1 coefficients are significant collectively. Okay. Although you have, by using the Z statistics, it is clear that Arch effect and Garch effect both are significant, but these are the partial test. When we use Z statistics, we are concentrating mainly on Arch 1. Similarly, here we are concentrating mainly on Garch 1. Now, if we want to test the simultaneous occurrence of Arch 1 and Garch 1, we need to carry out this test. So write down the command for this test. Command is test space third bracket, within third bracket arch. This arch should be in caps. L1, L also in caps. L1 dot arch. This arch is small. Space, again third bracket. Within third bracket, again arch. L1 dot Garch. So this is the command for joint testing for Arch 1 and Garch 1. Okay. And you will get the output window like this. If we look at the output window, the null hypothesis is rejected. What is the null hypothesis? No Arch effect, no Garch effect. So null hypothesis is simultaneously no Arch effect and no Garch effect. So rejection of null hypothesis means Arch and Garch effect presents jointly in your model. Clear?
স্যার কমেন্টটা আরেকবার বলবেন স্যার?
কমেন্টটা হচ্ছে এই যে জায়গাটা দেখো, তাহলে বুঝতে পারবে। দিস ইজ দ্য কমেন্ট, টেস্ট TEST স্পেস within third bracket arch ARCH capital, after third bracket L1 capital L1 dot small arch ARCH space, again third bracket, caps arch, third bracket close, L in capital letter, L1 indicates order 1, lag 1, dot Garch. This is the command. And this is the output.
Sir, output window টা একটু একবার বোঝাবেন না, মানে
আউটপুট উইন্ডোটা পেয়েছো, একই রকম পেয়েছো তোমরা এখানে যেটা দেখাচ্ছে?
হ্যাঁ স্যার।
আচ্ছা, এবার এটার মানে হচ্ছে এই যে প্রথমে arch L equal to 0, Garch equal to 0. These are the null hypothesis. So null hypothesis jointly no arch, no Garch. The statistics used here chi-square, and these test statistics suggest you the rejection of H naught, because the probability greater than chi-square is 0.000. So it is highly significant. So in this case also the null hypothesis is rejected. So rejection of null hypothesis means the presence of arch and Garch effect jointly. Clear? Now let me again extend our model to incorporate another effect in the behavior of the variance function. Till now, we assume that the behavior of the volatility or the behavior of the variance is symmetric. Symmetric means it does not depend upon the nature of the mean function. But in reality, the behavior of the variance or the behavior of the risk in this case, in our example, variance indicates the risk of the asset, financial assets. So the risk may behave asymmetrically. Asymmetrically means the behavior of the risk in the bad situation and the behavior of the risk in the good situation may not be similar. And we have discussed in our class, in our theoretical class, in detail. So to capture this kind of asymmetric effects in the variance function, we can estimate the model by incorporating the E-Garch effect. This kind of model was developed by Nelson. We have mentioned in our theoretical class. So if we allow the arch effect is asymmetric, that is, it is different in different situation. Different situation means we can separate out the total situation into two parts. One is the good situation, another one is the bad situation. So how do we identify good situation and bad situation? In our example, we are considering here the return. So if your return is positive, this is the good situation. But if your return is negative, this is the bad situation. So now we are allowing the behavior of the risk when the return is positive and the behavior of risk when return is negative. So to point out or to locate the differences in the behavior of the risk function in good and bad situations, you have to execute this command. Command is arch return. So you can look at the basic command always is similar. This is the basic command, arch return. Now we are differing after comma. This part is different in different cases. Okay, so here we are again incorporating the autoregressive part in the mean function, moving average part in the mean function, and in the variance function we are writing here E-Arch, E-Garch to incorporate the asymmetry in the behavior of the variance. So this is the command for executing the Nelson's model, E-Arch 1, E-Garch 1. So after executing this command, you will get the output into like this. So this part is similar as we have got earlier. This part is also similar as we have got earlier, but this part is different. Now we have got this part by considering the asymmetric behavior of the variance. And if you try to remember the basic structure of the Nelson's model looks like this. So we are writing here the Nelson's model after incorporating the estimated value. So this is the intercept term minus 0.14. So the basic model log of sigma squared t is equal to minus constant, then minus 0.05 u t minus 1. You can remember what is u. U is the standardized error we need to define to estimate arch or Garch model. Standardized error means the mean value of this error is 0 and variance is 1. So minus 0.05, it comes from here, this part, this is the arch 1 effect. And this part 0.22, this coefficient indicates the degree of asymmetry. Okay, 0.22 into the mod value of ut minus 1 minus square root of 2 by pi plus this is the Garch part. This is the Garch coefficient 0.98 into sigma squared t. So this is the estimated form of the Nelson's model. Now you can look at the third part of the output window. All coefficients are significant. That is the arch 1 effect is significant. Asymmetric extent of asymmetric is also significant. Garch effect is significant. So the behavior of the risk or the behavior of the variance is not symmetric. The behavior of the variance is asymmetric because we have got significant asymmetric effect. So how do we interpret this result? You can interpret particularly this part, because the interpretation of the mean function and the ARMA part is similar, as we have already mentioned, but new third part is the new one. The third part we can interpret in this way. The result indicates the presence of a leverage effect. The asymmetric effect, that is the behavior of risk in the good situation, the behavior of risk in the bad situation. This different is called, this kind of differential effect is called the leverage effect. So as the asymmetric presence, we can say that the leverage effect is present in our variance function, and the negative coefficient for L1 arch, this coefficient is negative. Arch 1 effect, coefficient for arch 1 effect is negative. So negative sign has some meaning. What is the meaning for the negative sign? The negative coefficient for L1 dot arch implies that the negative innovations means unanticipated fall in the stock price. So if your return is negative, suddenly it becomes negative, it will be more volatile. So the volatility, extent of volatility during the negative return phase is more as compared to the extent of volatility during the positive return phase. So this is the interpretation of the negative sign we have got in the arch 1 function. Clear? Now you can also look at the extent of asymmetry by using the power arch model, P arch model. So if you want to estimate P arch model, the command would like this. The first part is the same, arch return. Now suppose we are incorporating only autoregressive part in the mean function. We are ignoring the moving average part. You can also incorporate the moving average part as we have considered in our earlier estimation method, because here in this case we are considering both autoregressive part as well as moving average part in carrying out the estimation of E-Garch model suggested by Nelson. Similarly, you can also consider both AR and MA. But as we have got the moving average part statistically insignificant, also autoregressive part is also statistically insignificant. So in looking at the asymmetric behavior of the variance function, you can ignore the AR or MA part in all cases, because AR component and MA component always are insignificant. So to analyze the behavior of the variance function or the risk function, you can ignore the autoregressive part as well. So here the basic command is arch return as before. Now as we are considering AP arch model, asymmetric power arch. AP arch means asymmetric power arch. You have to write AP arch 1, P Garch 1. This is not AP Garch. You have to write here P Garch. So the command is, please write down the command, arch return space after comma AR1. If you want to incorporate autoregressive part, you need to write AR1, or if you ignore, you do not write it, but you should not ignore. Why we should not ignore, it will be clear very soon. Then write down AP arch 1, P Garch 1. After executing this command, you will get this kind of output window. Now, please remember, we have shown here the reduced version of the output window. So if you have not got directly, suddenly this kind of window, before getting it, some iterations will appear in your stata window. So after finishing the iteration process, you will get this estimated model where the log likelihood function is a maximum one, because everywhere this model is estimated by applying the maximum likelihood method. So after some iteration, ultimately you will get the maximum value of the log likelihood, and at that maximum log likelihood you will have the estimated value of the coefficients like this. So here also the mean function is the similar, but now look at the ARMA part. In the ARMA part we are considering only AR, not MA. We have eliminated the moving average part. Now after eliminating the moving average part, now look at the AR component becomes statistically significant. This part is now statistically significant. But in our earlier model, when we consider both AR and MA, AR, MA, all are insignificant. So your proper specification should be in the return function, you can incorporate only the autoregressive part, not the moving average part. Okay. Now, this is the behavior of the variance function in terms of asymmetric power arch model. So asymmetric power arch model is another form in looking at the asymmetric behavior of the variance function in terms of the power function. Okay. Now look at this part. So this part provides you the variance function. So again, this is the coefficient for AP arch 1. Now it becomes positive. Earlier you have negative sign in the E arch model. Now when we consider the power function, after considering the power function, it becomes positive. And these are the asymmetric part. Okay. And as all coefficients are statistically significant in terms of the Z statistics and the corresponding p values, the estimated model indicates substantial asymmetry with the large negative L1 AP arch. This part is negative. The meaning is similar. That is, if you have a negative return phase, in the negative return phase, the variance will be more prominent. That is, the risk will be more, or the return will be more volatile. Than the volatility in the positive return phase. So you will get roughly similar result as in the case of Nelson's model. So this model indicates a substantial asymmetry with large negative L1 dot AP arch underscore E. This negative coefficient suggests that the market responds with much more volatility to unexpected drops in return. So we can treat it as a bad news than it does to increase in return. So increase in return could be treated as a good news. So during the good news phase, is volatility will be low as compared to the volatility during the bad news phase. Okay. We can also re-estimate this model because always we are considering that the random error is normally distributed. You need to specify the distribution function of the random error when you want to estimate the model by applying maximum likelihood, because maximum likelihood needs a specific form of the density function. So specific form of the density function you will get only when you specify the distribution function in a specific form. And in most of the cases, we assume that the random disturbance follows the normal distribution. So the estimates in all cases, as we have gone through, are based on the underlying assumption that the random disturbance follows normal distribution. But in some cases, this assumption may not be valid. That is, the random error may not be distributed normally. So if this is the case, you can also incorporate the non-normal distribution of the random disturbance in your arch and Garch effect. So to carry out this, you have to execute this command. The command is similar as before, but you need to add this condition, the condition regarding the distribution of the random error. Distribution within bracket GED, that is generalized error distribution. GED implies generalized error distribution. So we are generalizing the distribution of the random error, not we are strictly depend on the normal distribution of the random error. So if we relax the normality assumption, you can use this condition in arch return command, and you will get the output window like this. Now here the additional information you will get that are shown in the lower part of the output window. The last line provides you the shape of the distribution. The estimated value 1.44. Okay, the shape parameter as shown at the bottom is less than 2. Less than 2 indicating the distribution of the error. Why we are considering 2? Because here we are considering the deviation from the normal distribution. Okay, you know, in the normal distribution, the value of kurtosis is equal to 2. So if the kurtosis is greater than or less than 2, your distribution will be deviating from the normal one. So how does your model is deviated from the normal distribution? It will be cleared by looking at the estimated value of this statistics. If this value is different, significantly different from 2, it indicates that the distribution of the random error will not be normal. Okay, so here as we have got the estimated value 1.44 or 1.45 roughly, which is less than 2, it indicates the distribution of the error has tails that are flatter. It will be flatter. It is a typo, not fatter. It will be flatter than they would be if the errors were normally distributed. So the return function we are dealing with till now does not follow the normal distribution assumption. So in that case, you can incorporate the generalized distribution of the random error term by incorporating this command. So what we are doing one by one, we have started with a simple model. We have started with the linear regression model, ignoring the behavior of the variance function. That is, we have estimated the conditional mean of the return by assuming that the variance is time independent, that is ignoring the arch and Garch effect initially. We have got some result and the mean value is statistically significant, we have got. But as the behavior of the return suggested by the time plot as well as the autocorrelation function, this pattern provide you some doubts about the time independent behavior of the variance function. For that reason, you have to be sure, you have to carry out some test whether the variance is time independent or dependent, that is whether arch and Garch kind of effect is present or not. And by carrying out this test, we are sure that there is arch effect or Garch effect. For that reason, then we estimate the mean function by incorporating Garch-1 effect. And accordingly, we have extended the Garch model one by one, starting with a very simple form of the arch model or the Garch model, Garch-1. Then we can generalize it. We can consider the asymmetric behavior of the variance function, and we have got this kind of result. So by following these basic methods, you can practice at home these steps. We are using here the Sensex data, closing value of the Sensex in calculating the return functions. You can also calculate the return by taking the opening value of the Sensex, or you can also collect some another kind of data like wholesale price index, exchange rate, which are available normally in monthly frequency. Because if you have a high frequency data, for a high frequency data, additional problem you need to look into, that is the nature of the variance. Because in those cases, it is less likely that the variance will be time independent. For that reasons, we have to check whether there is any arch effect or Garch effect into our model. So that's all, and we should stop here. And this is the